Welcome everybody to More Bedwords. Today we're going to be talking about my experience with the German language. So if you didn't know anything about me, then you would happen to know, or I don't know how I worded that. Basically, I'm a stats nerd. I like numbers. I enjoy math. I was never, particularly horrible at math. I don't really mean to, say, oh, I'm the greatest mathematician of all time. But I did my fair share of maths, in school, and I was never particularly horrible at it. Anyways, regardless though, I'm a numbers nerd. I'm a stats nerd. I like looking at numbers. And one of the more important statistics that YouTube gives you, which I didn't even know about, is you can see the demographic of your age, or not your age, but the demographic of your viewership by region. And this is something that's very important to me. I wouldn't say it's very important, but it's okay. Oh, why do you have to do this? Go away. Go away. Stop ruining my story. So basically, like I was saying before I was so rudely interrupted, there's a way to see what your demographic is of your viewership by region. And, obviously, me being, an English speaker, making videos in English, obviously that would translate to, the most popular regions. Can you not? I'm trying to tell my story and you were just trying to, okay, and you fell off on your own. Oh, nope. This is not going to work in your favor. So like I was saying, obviously, me being an English speaker, making videos in English with, presumably English subtitles, obviously a large majority of my viewership is obviously in English-speaking countries. So obviously, the United States and then the UK, I believe in that order. I'm not too sure where Canada is. I'd imagine it's like the fourth or something like that. However, you would have noticed that, I skipped the third, and you might be wondering, what is that third country that has the biggest amount of your viewership or whatever? Well, surprisingly, it's Germany. Yeah, not too sure how that worked out either. So that is particularly interesting. So hello, all my German viewers. Shout out to you guys. You guys are pretty cool. I have a lot of affinity for your country because of the story I'm going to be telling today. So anyways, going back to, I guess, the topic at hand here, most people in American high schools would know that, you have to take a certain number of foreign language, to make sure that you're a lot more, culturally educated, just so you're not, completely shallow in your, I guess, language abilities, even though a lot of people don't really carry on their education in secondary language, myself included. Anyways, regardless though, it's pretty mandatory, or at least it was mandatory for my high school, that you had to take 2 years of an extracurricular, or not extracurricular, like a foreign language, you know what I mean? And they had some pretty, diverse options. Obviously, they had the traditional Spanish because, at least where I'm from, Spanish is a big part of, the kind of culture. Obviously, Mexico is literally bordering the U.S., so it's a pretty big language and all things considered, and obviously there is a lot of Spanish speakers in the U.S. I would know half my family speaks Spanish, as a dual bilingual language, with my grandparents only speaking Spanish. So yeah, that's a thing. And obviously, in addition to that, they had the other more common languages, such as, French, because, we do border another country that speaks primarily French, or at least a good majority of the country speaks primarily French, that being Canada. If you didn't already know, there's a lot of French speakers in Canada. There's something like a third of the country speaks French, and if not that, a lot of people are bilingual over there. I don't know, I've never been to Canada, but, it's like a pretty well-known thing that there is French speakers in Canada. You get what I'm getting at here, okay? And finally, of course, there's ASL, or American Sign Language, because, there is a lot of deaf people in the world. So obviously being able to communicate with them pretty effectively is, a good skill to have. So, those are some pretty common languages. You would expect, oh yeah, that makes sense. You got your Spanish, all these neighboring countries or languages that you would use within your own country being ASL, these are pretty useful languages. However, there was one language out there that spoke out to me the most, and this is the one I ended up taking. So, with all these options and how I said, half my family is bilingual in Spanish, with my grandparents only speaking Spanish. This is not the blue bed. I don't know what I'm doing here. I looked at all those options and I said, yes, you know what? We got our Spanish, we got our French over here, and I'm going to take German. Clearly the most useful language out of all of these. Now, you might be thinking to yourself, why would you take German? That is clearly the stupidest option that you could have done. And, fair enough. Okay, I'll give you points where I'll give you credit where credit is due. But, don't ask my freshman high school self that, I mean, to be honest, even nowadays, I'm not still entirely sure as to why I took German, because literally any other language, especially, Spanish or even ASL, is far more useful and would actually be useful in my life beyond just the, required 2 years of a foreign language. So, yeah, that's what I ended up doing. Don't ask questions about it. And then my adventures in German started. The thing started out in the first class in freshman year, appropriately named German 1. Very creative name, I know. Don't ask who came up with that name. But anyways, regardless though, oh, you have quite the bed defense. Please don't tell me you have obsidian and you have obsidian. Okay, my day is ruined. Please tell me you have a rich generator. You do have a rich generator. Thank you so much for cooperating. So like I was saying, German 1 was all fine. All it was basically just oh, wow, that obsidian broke really fast. I'm actually surprised that broke super fast. Now, German 1 obviously is, just basically teaching you the basics. So obviously we had to learn the whole alphabet, even though obviously a majority of the alphabet is just the same as English, but with 3 special characters, which if I'm remembering correctly, were called the umlaut, which is the letters with like the dots over it, the A, the O, and the U. I'm not too sure if the I or the E with the dots over it is part of the German language. I don't believe it is. Okay, you have quite a bit of stuff. I am actually very scared. Oh my goodness. Okay, I'm scared. Leave me alone. I want to win. I want to win the game. Okay, and you are not following me. Okay, that is interesting. I'm not too sure why I'm following you. All right, it's time for a battle. Who's going to come out on top? I'm getting comboed. Nope. It's not how I wanted this to end. Oh, I should have bought a pearl. So in addition to obviously relearning the whole alphabet, we also learned some sentences. I wasn't particularly great at the accents or anything like that. I mean, I don't even know if I'm pronouncing the umlauts correctly. Obviously, I've been away from the whole German scope because I only did my 2 years and moved on with my life. But basically, the umlauts, if I'm remembering correctly, they're pronounced a, oo, and ü. I might be butchering that horribly. If any of my German viewers out there, feel free to make fun of my German in the comments because it is by no means the greatest, especially compared to any fluent speakers of it. Okay, that was the most interesting PvP fight I've ever had in my whole life. So obviously, in addition to just learning alphabet, we also learned some sentences. So I don't know. I'm not the greatest at the grammar or anything. I can't really form any coherent sentences. Don't expect me to go to like Germany or Austria and just be like a fluent speaker or anything, you know what I mean? I probably wouldn't even get by with the language in its own. I can pick out maybe like 1 or 2 nouns, but that is about it. Also, you just did not care that I was attacking you. You just decided to keep on buying whatever you were buying. One thing that did kind of stick out about the class is, we had a couple of, I wouldn't say like memes about the class, with certain words, but there were just some words that sounded funny and everybody just kind of kept repeating them over and over again. It was an American high school learning a foreign language. Obviously, this was bound to happen, but there were some words that just kind of sounded, I don't know, I wouldn't say like goofy, because there were certainly words in English that sound goofy, but there were also some German words that sounded goofy, even though they were completely arbitrary. Like, for whatever reason, everybody kind of gravitated towards das Buch, even though, it literally translates to the book. It's just a book, man. Like, I don't know what was so funny about it. I mean, I guess it kind of sounds funny. You are just sitting right there waiting for me to die. Oh, wow. One thing that I also remember is we always watch this TV show because, a lot of people would agree with me in saying that, the best way to learn a language is to basically be exposed to it, whether it be listening to the music, basically kind of immersing yourself in the culture, which I guess sounds corny, I know, but, obviously it has to be like the best way to kind of learn a language. If you fully surround yourself in every aspect of your life with the language, then you're bound to learn it a lot quicker. So every Friday we watch this TV show. I can't for the life of me remember what TV show this was even called. If anybody even remembers what this TV show was called, it was basically about this little girl. Oh my goodness. Obviously, it was a German show. It was all in German. It surrounded this little girl, I think about a dog as well, and then it also had her dad as a doctor, and everybody kind of called him a doctor, which I guess makes sense, but they weren't like, I mean, it was about like, kids and interacting, with like their neighbors and just have, it was like a generic, I wouldn't say it was a generic sitcom, but it was just like, a day in the life, you know what I mean? It was through the perspective of this little girl, and it was just kind of like, a day in her life, going around, making friends, because that was the whole premise of the show, is how she moved, and she's kind of making friends with all these people and all that kind of stuff. I don't know, it's your typical sitcom. It was never anything like, Breaking Bad levels of groundbreaking or anything like that, but, it was a decent show. It was fun to watch. But again, if anybody has any information regarding this TV show, like what this thing was even called, because again, I cannot remember what this thing was even called, despite the fact that I literally watched it for like a year every single Friday for my freshman year in high school. So that goes to show how much I actively learned from high school, not exposing myself for anything. So those are my adventures in German 1. All in all, it was fine. You know, I learned a decent amount of it. Also, don't pay no attention to what just happened. I didn't die or anything. But moving on, you know, that was my adventures. You know, we had fun. You know, we learned a little bit. We learned the, you know, bare bones basic of German, which, you know, obviously is what you do in a class appropriately named German 1. So, you know, it was fine, like I said, all in all. However, it pales in comparison to the amount of stuff I learned in German 2, which all in all was, yeah, basically nothing. So you might be thinking to yourself, oh, what do you mean you learned nothing in German 2? How could you do that? Are you not paying attention in class? Exposed? No, that is not how that works. Okay, so basically, let's set the stage here. So German 2 is obviously, you know, going to be a lot more harder than German 1. And I don't know how this is in other, well, I'd imagine this exists in other American high schools, but in other kind of ways of going about this, you know, for other countries. I don't know what the equivalent of it is, but basically you have these things called AP classes or advanced classes. Basically, it's these classes that give you advanced, like these classes that give you college credit for taking it. Now, I'm not saying that I took German 2 AP or anything because such a class didn't exist. However, there is a thing called pre-AP where it's basically, I don't even know what the point of it is. I think it just looks good on like your high school transcript or something like that, or maybe you do get more GPA boost or something like that. I'm not too sure what the logistics of it is. You have diamond armor. Oh my goodness. And I'm also beating you by some miracle. No, fall off the edge, please, thank you. So then again, I'm not too sure what the logistics of it is, but anyways, I ended up taking a German 2 pre-AP, which basically means that you get a lot more work and I guess a GPA boost or something like that. Basically, you're held to a higher standard because, you know, you pre-AP, you look like the big brains, everybody expects more of you. So that's what I took. And, you know, maybe it wasn't the greatest idea considering, you know, it was learning a language for the first time. But anyways, oh, please don't hurt me. Okay, I'm just going to go over here. Fall off. Are you going to fall off? Oh my gosh, you fall off. Can I break the bed in time? Nope, I'm not going to be able to break the bed in time, which means I'm not going to be able to beat you in PvP unless I get some insane combo or anything like that. Please. Oh my goodness, I'm actually going to do it. Nope, never mind. But the overall point of German 2, if I can stay focused for more than 2 seconds here, it was basically just teaching us about, you know, the past tense. That was the overall, like, kind of goal. You know, a lot of German 2 was focusing on the past tense of, you know, conjugation of words. I can't even speak English correctly. I don't even know what I'm talking about another language. I can't even say words correctly. I don't even. Oh, there is a guy from White this whole time, and I have just been skipping you. I am so sorry. I've been forgetting you this whole time, but in all fairness, you have not been the most active player this whole game. You have just been sitting in your base, not doing anything. Okay, it is time for you to die. I am sorry. You still have wool or leather armor in this late in the game. I'm not too sure how that happened. You didn't complete. How did you spawn with a iron sword? What is this? You spawned with an iron sword. Okay, I'm not going to ask any questions as to what that was. That doesn't make. I have no idea what's going on with this game anymore. Now, like I said earlier, since this was, you know, a pre-AP class with a lot more work and a lot more expected of us, and considering the fact that, you know, we're just some dumb high schoolers that don't really know what we're doing, learning a brand new language for the very first time that isn't English, obviously we were bound to be a little incompetent here. What are you doing here? Okay, you have potions and I'm gonna die. Oh, what? Where did you come from? Oh my gosh, everybody is here. Oh, and he fell off the map. Give me credit. Oh my goodness. Basically, the entire class had what you would call a hive mind. You know what I mean? Like, there were some actual big brains in our class that actually knew what they were doing. And then there were the rest of us, myself included, that didn't really know what we were doing. You know, we kind of learned some stuff from last year, but there was like everything else just kind of blew right over our heads, and we were pretty much incompetent at learning the language. In addition to my inability to speak, play the game, and also commentate at the same time, it's just a whole mess that's not really working out. But basically, we were a collective mind that didn't really know what we were doing, and we were all just kind of, I wouldn't say cheating because that's a little bit extreme, but you know, you can get what you can pick up what I'm putting down here. You know, I wouldn't say we were cheating, but basically we had the big brains kind of do all of the work because a lot of us didn't really know what we were doing, and we had no idea the conjugations for all that stuff. And yeah, our class was small as is because a lot of people, you know, stopped learning German after the first year, and a lot more people didn't want to do the pre-AP version of language they've never done before, which I guess, you know, makes sense in all fairness. But yeah, that's how our class was. So our class was relatively small, and we just had a lot of the big brains do all of the work. I wouldn't say we tried to learn. I mean, we tried to learn, you know, I did actively try to learn, but it was something that was not going well. You know what I mean? I don't know if it was like the combination of us moving too fast, because I wouldn't say we were moving too fast. And, you know, in all fairness, I did love the teacher. If for whatever reason she's watching this, I did love you, Frau. I'm not gonna say her last name, but that's what everybody called her. We called her Frau because it was female teacher or Mrs. or something along those lines in German. And, obviously that's what you would call a German teacher, just like you're calling your Spanish teacher senor or señorita or something like that, just out of respect. And obviously, to get more familiar with the language. I don't know, I'm rambling about this. You get the point. But anyways, yeah, we shared a collective mind, and something that's a bit more important. Where even is this guy? I have no idea where this guy ran off to. Something that's a bit more important to the story. Oh, there you are. What is your plan, sir, huh? What is your plan? I'm here to make the PvP battle. You are just going to fireball me off. I can just place blocks and completely ruin whatever you were trying to do there. A big key detail that's pretty important to the story is the year that I actually ended up taking this class. So obviously, following my freshman year, taking German 2 pre-AP and my sophomore year of high school, a key difference or a key detail about my sophomore year of high school is that it was the 2019 to 2020 school year. And as many of you know, 2020, yeah, there was a little thing that went around. I'm not too sure if you knew about it, but, there was a little thing called schools getting canceled and having to do online school and all that kind of stuff. Now, my high school, or my district in particular, was, the way they approached school was basically having us do like weekly assignments where, at the beginning of every week, they would give us like a thing to do for the week. And then that's basically what we did. And, it was as simple as that. It was pretty easy, for giving us an education throughout that whole issue or whatever. It was something, I guess it was fine. It was never anything too difficult. I ended up doing it all in like one single day and just had tons of free time after the fact. But regardless, though, for this class in particular, we had just to like write sentences or something like that. I don't really know what we actually did. It was something about writing sentences, and I think that's all we did. But obviously, us being a collective hive mind, we just had like one person do all the work, and then they just shared the Google Doc, and then we just kind of modified the sentences a little bit. I feel like I am admitting to not good things. Stay in school, do your homework, and all that good kind of stuff. But it was come on, man. The circumstances, the situation was not looking too good for us in order for us to get education. I can't even say words correctly. I'm also not even doing anything. What is even going on here? Are you just gonna camp there the whole game? Come on. But you know what? I'm just gonna bow spam you. This is what you deserve. This is what you get for just sitting in the base camping. Nope. You're not gonna hide. That's not how this works. You're not going to hide. We're not going to play the hiding game. Come on, we're not playing hide and go seek here. We're playing Bed Wars, all right? Come on. Come out of your silly little hidey hole. Come on. I'm done. I feel like I'm rambling on about my story about being in German. I think I've said everything that I needed to say. This video is dragging on way longer than it needed to be, and it's all because of you. How do you feel about yourself? Okay. We're going to jump down. Okay, we're going to eat the gapple, and hopefully it's going to give us hearts before we hit the ground. Okay, come on. Oh, knockback stick. Nope, it's not going to work. It's not how this works. Nope. I'm going to beat you in PvP. I win the game. My story is over. Level 74. GG's. So that was a total mess of a video. If you enjoyed, I also realized now that I had the suit skin on this whole time from the, This video is already probably pretty long as is, thanks to all my rambling and inability to play the game and inability to speak and all that stuff. But if you enjoyed my adventures in German, danke. Let's see if we can remember some German here. Danke. Please subscribe. I'm sorry, I can't do this. I didn't learn these words in German one. Okay, I don't know what to say. But yeah, anyways, if you enjoy it, then like and subscribe and all that stuff. And yeah, I've wasted enough of your time as is. Take care.